Hi guys, welcome back to more episodes of The X-Files. We're on to episode 18 of season 6, that last one, Trevor, where he could basically change the atomic structure of things that he touches and can also walk through stuff. Was really weird. Not really an explanation, but obviously there was going to be only one of two ways to be able to stop this guy, and Mulder and Scully weren't the ones that was responsible for it. Anyway, it was still enjoyable. It was completely different, even though I don't mind episodes of The X-Files where, because it's an X-File, we can't work out how and why it happened either. We can see the result, sometimes we can see the cause, but we can't always see the specifics as to what the cause was. Anyway, we're going to move on. This is episode 18. Wow. Needs nothing else in the room. What are you doing? Get out of town. You're like a fucking serial killer, and from what I've seen, I'm surprised. Whose building are we in here?
I rode up on the elevator with someone from next door, I think.
Young guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, new neighbor. Why?
New
You
neighbor.
met him?
It's a grossly misunderstood area of alternative medicine.
Well, medicine, as you're referring to it, is about keeping people alive.
Not
Well,
killing
absent
them.
another theory, how else do we account for the impossible extraction of this man's heart?
Is this why this guy's moved here? Because he knows Mulder's next door? Or is that expecting and interpreting too much, because how would he know that Mulder lives next door, who Mulder is, and that he might be the person who's looking at these cases? But they're talking about somebody who's had their heart extracted after what we just saw. Or is it just pure coincidence? I don't know.
There you go again.
What?
That thing that you do. You know what I'm talking about.
That's the way I kiss, Maggie.
Well, I get the message.
Where is he? Okay, we have to clearly suspend a little bit of belief here, because there's no way you are screaming your lungs out with no heart in your chest.
Did anybody see anybody?
No, nothing. I mean, it's like there's nowhere to start on this.
Where's the
case.
girlfriend?
Nothing to ask, nothing to say.
Was he a religious fanatic who had in fervent haste licked the envelope, leaving the telltale DNA that would begin his unraveling? Even now, as she pushed an errant strand of Titian hair behind her ear.
And they know, they know it will enamor the viewer. Anyone who's an X-Files fan. They're comfortable enough to know they can write something that's totally different and people aren't going to just dismiss it.
To look at this painting, so filled with divine love herself, asked the Lord to take her heart. And so he did.
Why are you following me?
I'm not. I'd only imagined that you'd come here today. This painting's religious symbolism would have left a subconscious impression, jogged by the gift you received this morning.
The Milagro charm. You were right about its insignificance.
No, I think I was wrong.
Why does that always happen?
I think it may be a communication from the killer.
Is nothing more than a tool used by a lovelorn Romeo who just happens to be your next door neighbor. I was going next door and I thought that I'd return this.
Why?
Because I can't return the gesture. How is it you think you know me so well, Mr. Paget?
I'm writing about you.
Right.
No, he is.
He moved here because of me.
There wasn't anything available in your building. And
That
it's not
makes
like you
sense
spent a
now.
lot of time at home.
It wasn't about Mulder, it was about her.
May I read it?
It's not finished. I can't tell you how helpful it is having you here.
What are you doing?
All typewriters
Bring this
have
man
a
under
signature.
arrest.
That. Right. I didn't know whether he'd spotted something.
It's all in there. Every detail, every murder, all laid out.
Yeah.
How'd you do it, Mr. Paget?
If I sit long enough, it just comes to me.
The murders.
I only knew what was in my mind and wished to express it clearly.
Which is the truth?
By their nature, words are imprecise and layered with meaning.
Dr. Ken Nascimento, Sao Paulo, Brazil, emigrated here in 1996.
Where is he now?
He's dead.
Can't be.
2
Great.
years dead, Mulder.
You know you're in here, don't you?
I
This
read a
isn't-
chapter.
Know all of it.
Just say it ends with you doing the naked pretzel with this stranger on a bed in an unfurnished 4th floor apartment.
She would not have chanced to remain at his sad grave until such an hour, so that
Maggie.
she might not have to learn the second truth before the first. That to have love was to carry a vessel that could be lost or stolen.
Signs of a possible struggle at the gravesite, but the area has been so trammeled by the funeral that collecting evidence is going to be virtually impossible. Looking like idiots.
Get where I can see him. Don't move until I tell you. I'm a federal agent.
Won't be him.
Mulder, that's not him.
What'd I do?
Mulder!
The truck. Check the truck, Scully.
Found her. I don't even understand why he's killing him.
What about time of death? What about...
We don't have any
are you
physical
doing?
Now
evidence.
you're about to argue my usual side, aren't you?
Mulder, why couldn't he have imagined it? Why couldn't he just be in the killer's head?
You read his book. You read what he wrote about you. Are you trying to tell me that he got inside your head, that what I read is true?
In my book, I'd written that Agent Scully falls in love, but that's obviously impossible. Agent Scully is already in love. I can't figure out your motive.
You imagine me so perfectly in every way. So perfectly that you bring me to life.
What?
Why did you choose me?
Is that what we're saying
I
here?
needed a perfect crime.
You were a tool of the truth. And when it finally arrives, when I arrive, you don't want to see it.
Anything?
It's gonna come through your door.
What do you think you're doing?
Destroying my book.
Phone up there.
Is she okay?
A story can have only one true ending. Even as the stranger felt compelled to commit his final words to paper, he did it knowing they must never be read. And in this final act of destruction, a chance to give what he could not receive.
Okay. Right. Episode 18. It's finally happened. And if you're not aware of it, go watch the other episodes on YouTube. Right. What I'm basically saying is this season in particular has been absolutely top-notch level on every single episode. Even when they've not been part of the main storyline of the conspiracy theory or whatever, there's been tongue-in-cheek episodes, there's been funny episodes, there's been depressing ones, but they've all had a unique perspective and unique story and characters. And I've loved this whole season. And I kept saying for the first, probably not about the first 9 and 10 episodes, how can we keep going like this? There's got to be a drop off somewhere at some point. That was it. What the fuck was that about? I'm sorry. I will tell it exactly how I feel it. I love doing this job. I love going back through old series, stuff that I haven't seen, because I did, whether you're aware of it or not, I did only see, I did only see smatterings of episodes when these were first aired, and a majority of it was only at the beginning, like season 1. I've never seen anything this far in. And if I feel like episodes subpar, just because it's a weakish storyline, there's not really any substance to it, I will say so. But if an episode leaves me completely, not dumbfounded, but just like, oh my God, just get to the end. This is boring. That's it. That's it right there. I will say, when I think it's a really bad episode, I will say so, because I will always tell you when it's a good one. And 99.7% of this series is precisely that. I don't know how other people feel about this episode, especially the X-File community, because there is a big fan group for the X-Files. But that, had I not been reacting to that, I would have turned that off. About 20 to 25 minutes in, I'll be completely honest. I don't even want to talk about it. So much so, I'm not going to. I will be back for episode 19. Until then, if you are enjoying the X-Files up to this point, please don't forget to give the video a quick thumbs up. Post your comments down below, especially if you disagree with me. But a story about love, a story about broken love, the fact that this guy wants to be able to show what he has, and none of it made any sense until we got to a certain point that we were realising that it was, he's basically invented a character in his book that's come to life. And the character thinks, why am I doing this? It's only the writer, and vice versa. It was pretty poor, to be honest. Very B-rate. Unfortunately, I'm very sorry if you like this episode, but I didn't. And I'll give it straight. So I will be back with episode 19 next. Until then, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you're not upset with me for saying that's really crap. But it doesn't happen very often. Right, see you for the next one. Take care.